know. This herb knowledge should be passed down. I always say herb lore, L-O-R-E, and not herb law. I mean, we all know that rhubarb leaves can be toxic if you have too many, but I actually said that at one seminar like this, and people go, what? They didn't know, because they don't grow rhubarb, they just buy it in the supermarket and it's already de-leaved, you know. But we know of the dangerous ones if we have too many, and that's a really good point. And that's why recently I stood for the Senate, because I believe there should be drug law reform where all substances should be available under prescription and regulated and taxed and controlled. It will be a much better society, because if I'm feeling depressed, or if you're feeling depressed, you go to if I'm feeling depressed, I just have Damiana tea. And that was the first one that I came across, and some of you may know. I went into the Happy Herb company not to make a profit, but out of protest, because when we tried this tea, we immediately felt its happiness, and we thought, why don't we know about this, you know? And we don't know about it because you're not allowed to make claims. I know that this is being recorded, but if I made claims here, I'm in big trouble. To give you an idea, I've got another one here. I've just brought up some. I'm just talking about the herbs that restrict us. And you're all here to support cannabis, which of course is the premier herb of all herbs. But however, there are other ones, because I fear for the future with the overuse and abuse of antibiotics. I mean, you go into a doctor with the flu and he'll give you an antibiotic and won't do a thing. It's just, that's in animal feed, it's a real problem. I think we know this, and I think perhaps even in my lifetime, that we'll see that will be the biggest threat to Western society, is the overuse of antibiotics. And you've been seeing this in the newspapers, so I thought, well, I've been sitting on a little secret for 10 years, and I should come out now, and I just put it on our website, the Happy Herb website, that a lady at a festival, it's called Exodus, I just saw her recently, and I've got her contact, so I think she's in the MCUA actually. She came to me at a festival, of all places, with golden staph all spreading up into her face, and she was freaking out because doctors couldn't do anything, the hospital couldn't do anything. Ray, I know there's some herb. And so we gave her liquid bandage, and the festival out there at Tenterfield Way went for 3 days, and when I saw her on the Monday, there was only just a slight pink scarring where it had all gone black, and you know, when you pick a scab off just easily, there's just that slight pink. The golden staph had gone away, and I went, wow, you know, I should tell the world about that, but you're not allowed to. Well, within a week, the Therapeutic Goods Administration, the same administration that is blocking the supply of cannabis, came down hard on me. We had to remove that blog from the website. I naturally protested because I'm speaking my truth, you know, and how dare they? And they said, well, if you do, we'll pull down your website. I don't know how they do that, but that's what they threatened to do. And we had to put a retraction up on the website saying, you know, we apologise to our customers for, you know, abusing their trust and all this by telling a lie when it's the truth, you know. And that was up on our website for 6 months, but to add insult to injury, they said if I told anybody about the fact that they prohibited my truth, then I would be in even bigger trouble. So I can tell you now, because that was 2 years ago, but at the time, I would have been up for something like $150,000 fine just for spreading that information. And then even at the end in their letter, they said, you know, when you've had that retraction up on your website for 6 months, we'll look at the penalty we will give you, you know. And I heard them speaking about, you know, there are snake oil salesmen, but after all, this sells for $20 and you make $2, why would you want to make claims? What's the big deal about making claims, you know? This is what we've got to come back to, is natural herbs like cannabis. I just want to let you know that the Therapeutic Goods Administration do have a role to keep out the snake oil salesmen, that they are blocking and they are causing suffering by denying that truth to be out there, not only about cannabis, but about croton and others that I'm going to speak about. Do Do you know in the 50s, Damiana was banned in Australia? Damiana was banned because they felt it might be something similar to cannabis. Well, in that way it is. It helps people get off cannabis, and that's what I use it for. When I smoke it, you get a happy feeling. So every time, you know, if you're addicted, and you're only usually addicted to cannabis because of what somebody brought up earlier, is the tobacco that most Australians seem to mix with the cannabis, which I did. But anyway, there was Damiana and it was banned too, so they just love banning herbs here in Australia. It's not the only herb that's been banned. There's been wonderful kava, which is also good for pain. I've got these kava chews, if anybody likes some, I'd be happy to give you a sample of the kava chew. They're relaxing. Kava is really anti-anxiety, and I think we're the only country in the world that bans kava. And we ban it because of the abuse by the indigenous, and at the same time we took away their alcohol out there in the deserts where we banished them. And you know, they have nothing. It was so cruel because the only way you get over alcoholism really is with the use of kava, which is a gentle, they said it was causing, you know, violence out there. Kava is not. Kava is very relaxing. You couldn't fight anyone. You know, it's just so wrong. Their ignorance of herbs are really causing suffering all around, with not only, you know, the herbs I'm talking about now, but particularly with cannabis. And it really is a passion of mine to see somehow the TGA. Actually, there's a very simple solution. What really should happen with the TGA, it's like putting Dracula in charge of the blood bank, really, because they're all pharmaceutical executives in the executive of the TGA. They're from the medical profession, dental profession, pharmaceutical executives, and it might have changed, but there used to be one token herbalist who was appointed by the others, and of course he would be friendly with them. I really do think that in the TGA they should have qualified herbalists looking after herbs. They should not have the pharmaceutical profession who are corrupt, as you know, and aren't really interested in our health, looking after herbs, because they just all ban them because they see them as a threat. Whether it be comfrey, which I've got here, or coltsfoot, here's another one. Some of you are in the anti-vaccination, and there's always brought up about whooping cough. Coltsfoot is amazing for whooping cough, and yet it's nobody can make that claim. I mean, I just know because we continue to sell it. But coltsfoot itself is banned, and yet it's the best thing for smokers' lungs. It will clear out your lungs, it will stop a cough, it will stop a sore throat, and even stop a flu coming on. I haven't had a flu in 20 years.
Could you say that again?
Coltsfoot, C-O-L-T, just like a horse colt's foot. And just on that, I brought it out here because just to raise some funds to the MCUA to pay for this hall, I thought I'd donate some propolis. I really recommend it. I haven't had a flu in 20 years because as soon as I feel that tickle in my throat and you feel that downward spiral of energy, and we all know it, you go, oh, there's a cold coming on. 99% of the population just have to wait or go to the doctor or whatever. But people in the know, like myself and like yourselves now, and this is what it's all about, herbal education. You just drop some propolis down your throat, it kills the virus. All coltsfoot will kill the virus if you keep it in it as a quid in your throat. It kills the virus, the tickle in your throat goes away, and you don't get a cold or a flu. It's antiseptic, it's just amazing substance that's produced by the bees to protect their hive from bacteria, from any attack from outside, and it protects their little babies, and of course when we use it, it protects us too. I've donated about 12 bottles over there, and these normally sell for $25, but if you want to support the MCUA, you can buy them for $5 and use it for any time you want an antiseptic or when you get a tickle in your throat. And also, a lot of the things that I was going to cover here are about the illegal herbs, and I've got 12 pages on cannabis in my Happy Hive Herbs book. It Again, this sells for about $20, but it's on the counter over there for $5. And when you buy it, it supports the MCUA, and I'd really recommend that this is a book for somebody who wants to help another with addictions or just wants to learn about herbs, because I cover quite a few herbs in there, and I cover all of the prohibited ones that are basically I'm not allowed to talk about and all that, and all the prohibited ones, just to give you an idea. This is some of them: betel nut, borage, cannabis, of course, coltsfoot, diviners, sage, which is a worthy herb, ephedra, fly agaric, Hawaiian baby woodrose, carver, cart, which is another one they call a dangerous herb here in Queensland. It's not at all. Kratom, which is really good for pain, and has many other benefits, is banned. Lobelia inflata, which has about 50 therapeutic benefits, even from snakebite, is banned. Morning Glory, opium poppy, of course, San Pedro, sassafras, Syrian rue, wormwood, it goes on. Just on that, this is my favourite dancing medium, just to give you an idea. This is nutmeg oil. It's a precursor to MDA, and when you rub it on your legs and your legs get hot, whether you're walking or running or dancing, your skin pores open up and allow a little bit of the precursor to come in. The next minute you're watching your feet dance, and you can dance all night. And people, you know, I'm 70 and people talk about how I get out on the dance floor like a teenager. They don't realise I have nutmeg on my legs. Prior to that, I used to have sassafras on my legs, but see, that's the precursor to MDMA. A much safer way of having it, because as soon as you stop dancing, the effect wears off. It's just for the fun of the night while you're hot and sweaty. And we were getting it out there, and people were using it instead of the MDMA drug. And of course, they banned that, didn't they? They banned sassafras oil. So how come nutmeg oil is still allowed? Because they can't ban nutmeg, because every baker and every woman who uses nutmeg in the puddings and stuff would riot, and this is what this is all about. I'm glad you are all here, but I wish there were hundreds here, because if anything, you're a part of the protest movement, even if you don't consider yourself a protester. Because what somebody thanked me before for introducing them to the Happy Herb Company, which went on to the Wellness Clinic, which went on to helping a lot of people. And of course, I only started up the Happy Herb shop in Nimbin out of the frustration, let's get the information out there. And the only thing that gave me courage was the good old hemp embassy in Nimbin. They were so outrageous, there was such a protest. I thought, if I open up a shop in Nimbin, I'll be protected, because you know, there's a hemp embassy promoting and standing up and activating for cannabis. And from the Nimbin shop, our shops grew to 54, not only in Australia, but overseas in America and England, New Caledonia, etc. But even there, we're not anymore in New Caledonia and England because of the laws against herbs. To tell you how ridiculous it is, the girl owning the shop in New Caledonia said this is the last straw, Ray. She imported 6 hemp t-shirts, and because they had the cannabis logo on there, they were taking her to court. And I thought they'd drop it, of course, but she finished with Happy Herbs before it went to court, but as far as I know, they were still pursuing her over hemp t-shirts. So that's how ridiculous it's got out there with people who are anti-cannabis and anti-hemp, and it's just so sad, because hemp, as you know, as a food, is the most nutritious. Hemp is the best plant on the planet, of course, and you know, we're talking about CBD oils and all of the oils, but back in the day where hemp was growing, people would have eaten that and put it in their soups. It was part of the diet in Russia, you know, and there's no doubt there would have been a health benefit, because I really believe the disease that is caused nowadays is because of lack of herbs in our diet. I know that because I watched our animals. They get old, they don't get arthritis, because I noticed they nibble on gotu kola, which is so good for arthritis. We put some mugwort over the fence, which is another wonderful herb, which I could spend an hour talking about, but luckily for you I won't. And I noticed that they'll come up and nibble a little bit of that mugwort, and then just leave it and go away, and then just come up occasionally and nibble it, because they know instinctively, like dogs and cats do, that mugwort is good for worms. It's a worm expeller. You don't need a chemical, you don't need all the chemical treatments. Our whole Western society, revolves around, chemical products, pharmaceuticals, and really speaking, the natural world has all of the answers, including cannabis, of course. Oh, you're making all my talking stuff.
Sharing.
Yeah, so a lot of what I'm going to talk about today, I do have to go. There's a change in the program. A lot of what I was going to talk about is covered in the book for $5. It's great reading. There's about 200 pages. That's the book there. Somebody said, oh, it's a great toilet book. It's a great book just to read the 2 or 3 pages in the... I've got 2 or 3 pages on every herb apart from Damiana, because it's my favourite in cannabis, where I've got about 12 pages on it. And it's got the fors and against, and I think it's a balanced look at cannabis. And I think it would help any young person who's looking at the fors and against with cannabis. But thank you for rolling up here today, and I just, I don't know when the laws are going to change. We've just got to keep activating them. Please support the MCUA as you have today, and thank you. Oh yeah.
I've just got to sneak in and tell you, everybody, that Ray has opened up the Elixir Bar in Ravina. Make sure everyone goes to that. Festivals and herbal things.
Plant-based and herbal alcohol. You can't get a 4X there. It'll be a Damiana beer or a nutmeg beer. Hopefully one day a cannabis beer and hemp food. But as you know, not at the moment. But we'll keep on keeping on. Things are changing. The Ravina shopping centre of all places.
And I'm so excited. I really am. It's only open this weekend, hasn't it, Ray?
Yep, two days open.
Okay.